Well, did you know that how can you calculate, or rather, do you know how to calculate the life of a tree? I'm sure you must have heard about it, counting some rings or something like that. Yes, it's true. If you have heard that, it's true. It is known as dendrochronology. Dendrochronology. What we do is, so this is the stem, fine? So in the tree trunk, from the tree trunk, if you have to calculate the number of the rings that you are seeing, and these are the annual rings of the tree. This will give you an estimate of the age of the tree. Can you see this particular image? And see, the age is nearly about 24 years. Well, whatever you are seeing on the screen does not just give us idea about the age. It gives us multiple other informations also. Let's see. So here the age would be 24. What we can say in addition to that also, can you see the circles like these? These indicate that this new circle inside is a new branch, and its age is as much as the rings that you're seeing inside this. Yeah, fine. Now, can you see this scar? It's basically a burn. It indicates that the tree branch being burned down, probably maybe because of a forest fire. And this indicates, the scar indicates a burn. Fine. So it gives a lot of information for us. Now the question here is, what causes the annual rings to form? How are these rings formed? Well, this is something very interesting. You know, every ring has two parts. So if we take a close look, what we'll see, one you will find is a light band and the other you will find is a darker band. Both together forms one annual ring. So formation of annual rings. Each annual ring comprises of a light band and a darker band. So the question now here is, of course, what is responsible for the formation of the light and the dark bands that I'm talking about? Well, you know, the growth of the plant during different time point of the year because of the seasons varies quite a lot. Yes, because different seasons, the weather conditions is different, availability of water, availability of the nutrients will be varying, right? And because of that, the plant growth also can vary. Fine? Okay, so let us talk about the two types of wood, that is early wood and the late wood. Let's see. The spring wood is also known as the early wood. And what and how does this happen? Take a close look at the diagram over here, okay, properly. See, what happens initially, you see the old phloem, the vascular cambium over here and the xylem. Fine? Okay, great. So, during the growing season, mostly which is the spring season, you know, there is a lot of water, a lot of nutrients are present. So during that time, what will happen, the xylem will grow quickly, and this is, I'm talking about the spring season. The xylem will grow quickly and see, they have large cavities. The xylem will have large cavities. So this is what we see as lighter band. We see as a lighter band because it has got larger cavities and it grows quickly. This is the early wood. So xylem elements are large in number. Xylem elements have wider cavities, lighter in color, low density, very active cambium. Yes. So this portion is formed during the favorable season, I can say, or rather the spring season, the spring wood, also known as the early wood. Now the next is the autumn wood or the late wood. Now what happens when the season changes? Fine, when it's becoming drier, it becomes cold, the availability of water reduces in cold countries, right? The availability of water will reduce, availability of nutrients will reduce. Now what will happen? Now see what happens. This is the early wood with larger cavities. Now see this one, the late wood. Okay, so what happens here? What happens here? Just compare. Fine. So here the growth is much slower. Of course, nutrients are not available at a good quantity. So the growth will be much slower. In addition to that, the cells will have thicker walls and the cavities will be smaller now. The cavities will be smaller to keep the little moisture which is present inside, and they will have thicker walls. See here, this is the Latewood. So now, this time it is darker in color. So fewer xylem elements, of course, because the conditions are not much favorable for the growth. Xylem elements have narrow vessels, darker in color, high density. Cambium is less active, and this portion forms because of this is basically the late wood. Fine. So got it? Early wood and the late wood.